Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm gamesplaining Sorry No Vacancies. Sorry No Vacancies is a roll and write game. It can play from 2 to 4 players. I've only got one sheet set up because realistically, everyone is doing the same things on their turn. So I'll just talk it through with one player rather than worrying about the other players as well. What you're doing on your turn is you're rolling all 6 dice. You can then use the rules of hanging on to some of those dice. So he might put aside those 3 4s and roll the others. He might hang on to that other 4 and roll again. And that's his rolls. So you can roll basically up to the 3 times, pulling aside as many as you like each time. What you're trying to do is get numbers 1 through 6 for this area of the board, number 7 through 12 for that area of the board. Either of those 2 areas, you can add dice together as much as you wish. This area of the board is looking for doubles. So if he turned in 2 4s, he would circle in the 4 spot. This is looking for triples. So if he turned in 3 of his 4s, he could circle in the 4 spot. Then there's these larger areas. These 2 are looking for 4 of a kind. So that's what the K is, 5 of a kind, 6 of a kind. And these ones are looking for runs. So 4 in a run, 6 in a run, 5 in a run. And then there's these last 3 spots down the bottom, which are looking for 20 points out of all your dice, 25 points or 30 points plus. So he hasn't managed to get a big enough roll for any of those spots out of this because there's only 19 points there. If he'd managed to do that, however, he could use those ones to fill in that spot and then the 2 to fill in up the top. Because he's got 4 of a kind, he is going to choose one of these 2 spots and he thinks he'll fill in the tennis court. Notice that's gained him 6 points at the end of the game also. There's then these 2. So he has the choice now of either marking in the 2 and the 5, or he could add them together and mark the 7. He'll take the 2 and the 5 for the moment. It's then on to the other person's roll. And you'll continue to roll this way until there are no more spots available to you. So you might, once again, hang on to those 4s, and you might hang on to the pair of 3s as well. Reroll this guy, reroll it again. There's that 4th 4. So he gets the other 4 of a kind there. He's got the pair of 3s, which is over here. And this is making sense. Now, the other thing that happens is there are cards available. If you have a closer look at each card, as soon as you have filled in this 4K, which he's actually filled in already, the 25 plus points, which is this one just here, and the level 4 within that terrain type or staying type, which is this one here. So he needs to roll 3 4s to cross that one out. As soon as he's done that, he can claim that card, which will give him 4 extra points. So you're actually pushed towards saving up or getting areas filled in that are going to fulfill these cards up the top. As soon as you have done one of them, you can take the card, and you can take more than one card on a single turn if you have the appropriate stuff filled in on your board. The other cards up the top are for areas of your board. So this is area 1. As soon as you have all of the spots filled in there, you get to take those 2 cards, choose one, and put the other one face down. Area 2, which is these 2 cards, is this spot. Area 3, which is those 2 cards. Area 4, which is those 2 cards. Area 5 is all of these larger ones, which is those 2 cards. And Area 6 is these 3 spots down the bottom. So let's have another go. So he's got 4, 5, 6, or he's got double 4s and double 5s. Since he's working on these ones down the bottom, he might just re-roll those 3. That gives him a 3, so he's got a run of 3. And he'll re-roll those other 2 dice, which gives him a 1 and a 4. So he takes the run of 4 over here. He can take the 4 and the 1, or he could add them together to be a 5, but the 5 has already been crossed out, so he's going to have to take the 4 and the 1 with those dice. And then we go to the next turn. Notice he's got 3 3s, 2 2s, and a 4. He's going to hang on to the 3 3s, and he'll re-roll those 3 dice. 2, 5, and 4. And he might stick with that. So these guys here give him the 11. The 3 threes give him this spot down here. This is the triple area. And what he's looking at is 4R, the 2, and the 3 have now been filled in. So he gets to claim that card as his own. And then move on to the next round. So there's a pair of 6s, a pair of 1s, a 2 and a 5. So he might hang on to that pair of 6s, and he'll hang on to the pair of 1s and see what happens, just re-rolling these 2. That gives him a pair of 2s. So look, what he's going to do is he's actually going to knock out those 3 spots and move on to the next round. 3 threes, which is no good to him because he's already filled that up. He's also filled up the double 3. So this is actually no use to him except for if he can get 5 or 6 threes, then he can go after one of those. So he might try that for one more go and see what happens. He's got 3 5s. So what he's going to do is he's going to re-roll these 3. And that gives him a pair of 4s and a 2. So he needs to decide what to do with them. His 3 5s, he'll definitely cross that out. And he'll put all of these together to cross out the 10. Now, I've just done something that I'm not 100% sure exists in the rules. I had 3 set aside, but I re-rolled them after I'd set them aside. I am not 100% sure which direction we should be going with the ruling on that. If you know, please comment below so we can get that clear. The rules state, roll all 6 dice and set aside any number of dice as you go. It doesn't say anything about being able to re-roll dice that you have previously set aside. So I'm not 100% sure on that. I think make a decision before you start, or if there's a comment below to say this is how it should be played, then please move ahead with that. But that's just a outside edge case that I'm not sure which way it goes. So let's keep moving forward. Roll them all again. There are 2 5s. So he does want to do the 2 5 area. He does want the single 6. So what he might do is re-roll those 3. Which gives him a triple 6. Let's re-roll this one and see what happens. It gives him a single 1. So what we end up with is those 2 5s can cross out that one for sure. A pair of 6s has already been done. The triple 6 has not been done, so he'll take the triple 6, but the single 1 has already been done. So what he now has to do is cross out one of the locations. And it's up to him which one he crosses out. And he thinks it's probably worthwhile crossing out the 6K. So that one can't be claimed. He's just lost 15 points, but he's left himself open to be able to get a whole bunch of other stuff. And you're going to cross out one thing for each die. So if there were 2 dice that he couldn't place, he would have to cross out 2 spots. I've just noticed that I've actually achieved this card as well, so he will hang on to that one. He has also achieved that card, so he'll hang on to that one also. So you see how the number of cards disappears as we're going through the game. You might hang on to that. And reroll this, hoping for another 1. And one more time. He hasn't managed to get it, but he can use that for the 7. So what this has done is he's crossed out the 3. He'll take the 6, and he'll use that as a 7. Cross them out. He's now completely filled up this area, which means he gets to choose one of these cards to hang on to. They are both the same thing, so he'll just hang on to one of them. What this card does is for every card like this that he has at the end of the game, he'll get points. So if he only has 1 card, he's getting 2 points. So having this 1 card, he's getting 2 points. If he had 2 cards, he'd be getting 4 points. If he had 3 of them, it'd be 8 points. 4 of them is 16 points. Not 16 points per card, but 16 for all 4. So he hangs on to that card and put the others back. The other types of cards is this one, which you leave that face up, and that will allow you to have an extra roll, or there's an extra benefit to having one of those. And these cards, These are location cards. Whoever has the most of them at the end of the game gets an extra 3 points per card. So if you're the only one collecting them, then it's really worthwhile. If there's a few of you collecting it, it may not be as worthwhile. I think that that is enough information for Sorry No Vacancies. If you have any comments or suggestions, please write them below. If you have any games that you would like to be Gamesplaned, please shoot me an email to thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter @thegamesplainer to keep up to date with the games that I'm playing. Subscribe to my videos to keep up to date with the games that I'm gamesplaying. And until next time, enjoy gaming.